Welcome today. We really appreciate your attendance. So today, basically, we're going to talk about your experience here at J. Addison School. As you know, J. Addison School is the best private school above Toronto in Markham, Ontario.
Agreed.
And so today we're going to do some interviews with our parents and some of our past students. And what's going to happen is Mr. Brendan will introduce you, and then I will ask you questions. I think all of you did get the questions that I sent out, that were sent out to you. So that's what's going to happen. So let's begin with Mr. OJ. Brendan, could you kindly introduce Mr. OJ to us?
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So Mr. OJ is the proud parent of alumnus OC Okoji, who recently graduated in 2021 as an Ontario Scholar. In addition, he also has a son by the name of Baraka Okoji, grade 11, that currently attends J. Addison School. Mr. Okoji works as a director of financial planning, treasury, and analyst at Ontario Air Ambulance Corporation, which is a Canadian not-for-profit corporation and registered charity that provides air ambulance and associated ground transportation services to the provinces of Ontario. Moreover, he is also the president of J. Addison School's Parent Council.
Welcome, Mr. OJ. Okay, so I'll start with the questions.
Welcome.
Why
Thank
did
you,
you choose
Brendan.
the school originally? In which way is the school? In which ways is the school what you expected, and which ways is it not?
Thank you, Mr. Brennan. Thank you, Mr. Vendidi. To just cut to the answer, when we were looking for school for OSE, our main concern was academics. As you all may know, OSE is a top athlete in the country, but it was struggling academically. So we're looking for a variety of schools. When J. Addison first came into our radar, we didn't really know anything about the school. But it was referred to us by his coach, his AAU coach, and we had a meeting with you, Mr. Venedi, and YC, and during that meeting, it was clear to us that our concern would be addressed. There was no promises made without hard work. I think that was what you said. As long as the student is willing to put in the work, the school is willing to help. And we had some other interviews with other schools, so we decided to go with J. Addison. I can tell you, I'm a big advocate of J. Addison School. Within the first semester, we noticed tremendous change in OSE. Even his countenance, the way he relates to people, the way he approached things change. I think the first time he came home, if any parent that deals with teenagers will understand, we have concern with his room. When I went into his room, it was like day and night. So J. Addison School, actually, we gave J. Addison School a boy, they gave us a man. The other aspect of it on the basketball, we know he's a good athlete, but the basketball was just starting in J. Addison. We didn't really know how well it would take off. But because the academics concerned from basketball, we said, let's see how it goes. To be quite honest with you, they exceeded all our expectations. They went on in the basketball front to win the Ontario Scholastic Basketball Association Challenge Series. They won the Louis. I was there at every game, and I could see the growth. In just the past weekend, he won the Jane and Fitz Classic MVP.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Good stuff.
Yeah, so just to be conscious of time, academically, he came in to the J. Addison with an average grade of 67. He graduated with an average grade of 88. So that's
He worked very hard. We're very proud of him. We're very proud of him.
Yeah, smart boy.
Okay, next question. What does your child have to say about the school?
It was simple. The first time I saw his grade and I asked him, I said, because he was struggling with math. As you know, I'm a finance director, and all I do is math in finance every day. So I was in a meeting with my CEO when I got the first result from his own school, and I look at math, it was like 60. I couldn't understand why my son is struggling with math, and his mom is a nurse, So the first time his grade came in and I asked him, I said, "Ose, what changed? Like you were in Duville, you were struggling with math and you transitioned to Addison." He looked at me and said, "Daddy, the teachers and the staff actually cared. They want you to be good." And after that statement, he said, "I think Baraka should come to this school."
If the school were to be represented as a single person, what would its personality be like? Can you answer that in 3 words?
The personality, my personal observation and from what I observed from my kids, would be inclusiveness, leadership, and innovative. And I can give you, an example of inclusiveness. As you know, the world is a global village, and being unique means that you're different from everybody. An ability to assimilate and work with everybody makes you a global leader. Leadership, Addison has been, a leading force in the educational front. Taking a kid like my son from Mose, who was not very confident of himself, to be a leader, shows me that Addison actually groom leaders. The last one is innovative. When COVID came, there was concern about how do the school work. And I think one thing Baraka told me was like, "Daddy, we're already used to this. This is nothing." So the transition was seamless. And to me, that is, innovative. Your innovativeness has actually transcended from the staff and faculty members to the student, and they actually believe they are leaders in the province and in the country.
Okay, and the last question is, how would you describe the values of the school and the values of the families of in the school community?
I was fortunate to be nominated as the president of the student council on the basketball session, and the values of the parents that I observed is one of, again, like I said, diversity. Compassion is a big one, and motivation. If you look at Addison, the motivation aspect of it, also told me, and Baraka confirmed it, they are always motivated to be who they are and to be leaders of tomorrow. And Mr. Vendetti, I can say that categorically from my experience with you and your staff. Mr. Brennan know me very well, Ms. Hivan, like the whole community of, I call it the army of staff at Addison, the whole work that you guys put in to help students succeed, motivates not just the student, but also the parents. Diversity in the school is inclusive. Recently, with the advent of the EDI, Equality, Diversity, and Inclusion, Addison is actually at the forefront of this. Before the EDI became a global phenomenon, you guys were already at the forefront of it. You gave scholarships. You gave scholarship to some students of minority students, and you work well in making sure that they succeed, not just bringing them on. The compassion is the compassion that the staff actually invest in students. It happened to me personally when I was trying to send OSS transcript to NCAA when they were asking for it. Ms. Hivan, the guardian counselor, basically called me. Have you heard from them? What is the process? The coaches, YC, Regina. I don't know. I know YC. I don't know Regina, but every time I pick up the phone to call, she's right there. She's like, "Okay, hold on, Mr. Koji, I'll get you what you need." So the compassion that the staff, the faculty, and the student assumed is mind blowing for me.
Thank you so much for your kind words.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to move on now to the students. So the first student I'm going to ask Mr. Brendan to talk about is Chloe.
Okay, perfect. So, Mr. Vendetti, I'm very proud to present this student. Chloe Chan is a graduate of the class of 2016, where she was awarded the salutatorian with the highest academic average. During her time at Addison School, she served as the class of 2016 to the student council president and volunteered over 100 hours in community service. Upon graduating from Addison School, she was accepted to the top leading business schools in Canada, such as York University, Schulich School of Business, and the University of Toronto Rotman. In addition, she was also accepted to one of the top international universities in the world, University of Hong Kong, in which she graduated in January 2021 with a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance. Chloe has also taken part in postgraduate international exchange programs in Switzerland and Beijing. Moreover, she did an internship in London, UK. She was awarded numerous scholarships over the course of her study. Currently, Chloe is an auditor for one of the most prestigious international accounting firms by the name of PricewaterhouseCoopers in Hong Kong. So without further ado, Chloe Chan, take it away.
Thank you so much for being part of our panel discussion today, Chloe. We are honored to have you here, and congratulations on all your accomplishments. So I'll start with the questions again. What did you appreciate most about the school during your time? And how has your perspective on that changed now that you are distant from the school?
What I appreciate the most is that I think when I was studying at Addison, it was a very new school. And then I think really like how hard you guys are trying to give us everything that we want and we need. I think because I remember the resources were not that adequate when we studied there. I know that Daniel know what I mean, but then I think that what Addison did is that they really listened to us and they try to give us everything that we want and all the course that they can bear. Like what I mean is that when I was a grade 11 student, I was starting to choose the courses for my university. And then I remember I looked at the list that Addison offers, and then I asked Brandon or I asked Miss Anne, Samantha Anne, I remember. And then she told me like, I know that it's not much choices for now, but then you can definitely let us know what you want to have and then what other students want to have. We will try our best to see what we can do. And then I remember I asked my friends, and then many of them said that they want to learn about social sciences. And I remember in one semester time, you guys made it for us. I remember it's a family study course. I remember it's the first one that we have. And then we were so excited to have it. And you even hire us with a new teacher with different books and materials all prepared in 4 months time. I think it's very amazing. And then what I think is that, and even more in the next semester, Miss Anne offered me with an accounting course that really changed my life. And that's what major is in university, because I remember I told her, I think I like business after studying an international business course. I remember it's by my favorite teacher, the one who is so cute, but I couldn't remember her surname for now, the one that we have. And then I remember that it's hard to school. I remember Brendan keep asking us, what do you want? Let us know what do you want. And then we will try to give it to you. And then I also remember like, because most of our students are coming from Asia when we were the new joiners here. And then Brandon tried to make us happy and make us have to how to absorb the environment by giving us a Blue Mountain ski trip. I remember it's a whole school event. And then Mr. Fanetti even say goodbye to us on the school bus. I remember it. It's the first event that we have as a school. And I think it's so amazing that you guys are trying to make us feel like home when we are away from it. So I'm really appreciative.
Thank you. What, to the best of your knowledge, most differentiates a school from other schools? Because I think you came from another school before you came here, right? So what makes it different from other schools?
Actually, I studied in my mother's school in Hong Kong, and then I went for summer school in Toronto as well, like for a summer, and then I come to Addison. And then what I think about Addison is different is that Addison is a very new school, definitely, comparing to the previous one that I went to with like 100 years of history. So I think what the best of it is that you can voice up and you can grow together with the school. I remember like, because I was a boarding student and then I have so much, and then we have conflict sometimes about like the rules, because I know he's very stressful to see all of our kids. But then sometimes I voice out my concern to him, and then he's like, okay, I understand your perspective, because we have like all kind of different cultures in a one floor environment, and we have all kind of different problems coming up because it's a new school. We don't have like very rigid things to come across with. So that I think what's the school did is that you all listen to us, and then you want us to voice out what do you think is the school is not doing well at the moment, and then you can do it better, and then you want our feedback. I think it's a very like upward feedback and downward feedback from time to time, so that I think you can grow together with the school is a very amazing thing. I remember I told Brandon a lot of things, and then he told me his concern as well, and then we compromised all of us, and then we finally made it a very nice environment to study in. I remember it makes me feel like home when I was studying 2 years here. And then given that most of our students and classmates were international joiners, and we were having a hard time to adapt to the new environment and the new learning style in Canada, because what it offers in Asia is so much different, very result oriented. And if you don't score well, people don't think you do well. But then in Addison, all the teachers, Mr. Vandetti lets us know that you appreciate all of our different uniqueness. Like no matter we are good in sports or we are good in studying or good in art, you all are giving us all the resources that we would like to have in order to improve. And I remember all of you, all of the teaching staff, all of the members always told us that if you are trying your best, we all appreciate your effort a lot. I think it's a very encouraging atmosphere in Addison.
Thank you. What one thing would you change about the school for the better if you had to choose something? One thing that you would choose to make it better, and we really appreciate that.
I think that if it to change the school for better, I think during my time there, I'm not sure if it's like it's not the same thing now. But then when I was studying here, I think maybe the non-boarding students have less resources and less activities to participate in. It's more like going to classes and then going back home. But then I think students have they have their responsibility in that as well, because they were like so eager to go back that time. Because I think it is due to the resources constraint at that time, because we are all new, we are all developing, we're all learning. So I think that if I have to choose something to talk about is that we could have some interest group or society over to the non-boarding student as well, so we can be more bond even when we are not boarding students. But for boarding students, I think we are all so nice. So I think we are having all we have, all we want, as long as we are open to participate in.
Okay, and the last question is, what advice would you give to students just entering the school?
Okay, I like this question. So I think you have to be more open-minded, because most of the students in Addison are like either from international background, like they come from different places, they are coming along to the boarding school with their family, or I think for this 2 years, maybe more of them are coming with their family to immigrate due to the social environment. Or I think there are more local students as well in these few years, as I know that from your Facebook page. So I think that even if you are coming from all this free background, I think you have to be more open-minded, because I'm sure if you're coming to JS, it's a new start anyway, no matter where you come from. So I know it could be very stressful and challenging to get used to a completely new environment at the beginning. But I want all of the new joiners to remember that you are not alone. All the teachers, Mr. Vandetti is very, very passionate and very encouraging. They want to treat you like a family at all time. You can let Addison be your another home. You can rely on, you can tell your concern. You have friends here, you have teachers, you have Brendan, Mr. Vandetti as your family. But just remember to talk more in English, or else they will be kind of upset. As I remember, they are all shouting in the corridor, asking you to say English. I think it's very important, because when I was young, I couldn't understand, like, all my friends speak Chinese, why I do have to say English? But it is very important to respect all of the people coming from different backgrounds, especially in Canada with such a diverse environment. So I think you can be your best here. You can learn a lot here. You can grow with the school, and you can achieve a lot.
Thank you, Chloe. Our next student is Nicholas Mack. Mr. Brendan, please do the honors and introducing Nicholas.
Okay, Mr. Vendetti, Nicholas Mack graduated from the class of 2020. He is currently studying at the University of Toronto, pursuing a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. During his time at Addison School, Nicholas Mack was an outstanding residence council leader, and he has also graduated with an Ontario Scholar Award. So without further ado, let us welcome Nicholas. Take it away.
Hi, Nicholas. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good.
Thank you for taking part in our panel discussion today.
my
So
honor.
here's the first question. What do you appreciate most about the school during your time here?
Honestly, well, for me, when I was thinking about this, I had to compare what I had in Addison to what I had in my previous school in Hong Kong, which was very, very big. What I most appreciated about Addison was, I think, the student population, because back in my larger school, very big school in Hong Kong, honestly, I was just another number. I was just another student. But in Addison, I felt like I was a bigger piece of the pie. Like I was more than just another student. I feel that more students got to take the spotlight more often, and honestly, that was very good for I think just growing, because you got the chance to meet other people from different classes, and you just got to meet everyone for me. And I think that's very big, because I myself am an introvert, and this opportunity really helped me strive academically, because in Addison, I really didn't like science to begin with, but then when I was trying to get chemistry done and biology done for kinesiology, I honestly loved it, because I'm not sure if Mr. Roman's still here. He probably is. He's
Still here with us, yeah.
Yeah, I fell in love with chemistry the first lesson I had it. It was amazing. He was so enthusiastic about chemistry. I loved it. And now I'm taking summer courses. I'm still taking chemistry, not as much as I didn't enjoy it as much as Mr. Roman's class, but it's still very fun. I love chemistry, and my perspective on the school, it's only been a year for me since I left, so it honestly has not changed. But this school has, I think, it's changed me in terms of my work ethics and also academical organization drastically.
Well, we love the chemistry you brought to our school too, Nicholas. Much appreciated. What, to the best of your knowledge, most differentiates our school from other schools?
Well, honestly, I have to go back to the student population, because honestly, it's so different from other schools, because schools in Hong Kong are usually very big. And I also think the diversity in the school played a huge role in making the school unique from other schools, because in the school there's people from let's say Russia, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea, everywhere. And I think I got to learn a lot more about people from other cultures. And I also got to connect back with my Chinese heritage, with my Chinese friends, because a huge population of the students are from China. And I think living in a boarding school, honestly, my first impression was that it was gonna be very lonely. It was gonna be because it's very far from home. I would feel kind of sad. But then when I put myself in the actual setting of the boarding school, it felt like home, because sharing a room with several other students helped me build trust amongst my peers, and that also allowed me to get help from other students when I needed help my homework. And I think that was very useful, because usually I'd just have to look up Google and seek help from there. But having friends 24/7 was very big for me.
Good. If the school were to be represented as a single person, what would its personality be like? And can you answer it in 3 words?
I think definitely easygoing. Honestly, I did not. I did try to set a plan for myself, what I had to do, what I shouldn't do. I try to make a plan for throughout the year, but that all just fell apart, because I just went with the flow. It felt very natural to me when I first came in Addison. trusted in process, and I ended up somewhere, I think somewhere better than where I would have expected myself to be. And that also comes with, I'll also describe the school as very challenging, because I pushed myself beyond my original limit, and I kept doing that, and that just made me become so much better than I was before I came into Addison. And I also say school is very compassionate. As I said, I'm not just a number in the school. I felt like a bigger piece of the pie, and the school was it supported the students in every way they could, and I think that was something I couldn't get from any other school, and I think that was great.
Okay, great. What one thing would you change about the school to make it better, if you were to choose something?
Honestly, it took me some time to think about what I could change, but it was something Chloe has mentioned. It was organizing like other hobby clubs, such as chess, books, or even debating clubs. And I think that would actually be really nice, because being far away from home, it's really difficult for some international students, and having something to bond with others definitely takes some ease off of the worries of being far away from home. And I think it's just very fun overall, like sharing what you like with other people in the school. And yeah, I think that would be great.
And what would families find most surprising about the school?
Honestly, I think the ethnic diversity, because usually when we're talking about boarding schools in Canada, because locals would usually go to public local schools, but actually no, there's a lot of local students. There's also a lot of international students, so everyone just comes together. And it's not just the students, which is very diverse in ethnicity, also the staff. We've got teachers from all around the world, and this enabled us to become more accepting to others, especially from somewhere such as Japan. Usually when you see foreigners, right? And that really helped us open our minds and help us become more accepting to others.
Thank you. And what advice would you give to students just entering the school?
I would honestly just come to relax and trust the process as well, because I miss every second I spent in school. It was truly a unique experience, and I was extremely grateful for every second I was a Addison student, and honestly just enjoy it. It was fun.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Nick. Much appreciated. And our next student is Daniel Guyen. And I'm going to ask Mr. Brennan to introduce Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Mederi. Daniel Nguyen is a graduate from the class of 2015, where he was awarded as the valedictorian with the highest academic average. During his time at Addison School, he served as the class 2015 Student Council President and volunteered over 100 hours of community service. Since graduating from Addison School, Daniel was accepted to one of the best postgraduate business schools in Canada at Wilfrid Laurier, in which he served as an undergraduate business teaching assistant. Moreover, Daniel graduated with honors in business administration in 2019 from Wilfrid Laurier, as well as placing first and third in business competitions for brands such as IKEA, Family Enterprise, and Enactus. Equally important, Daniel has built an impressive professional resume as a business consultant and analyst, working for companies such as KPMG, George Weston Limited, and Carpedia Hospitality. Currently, he works at Perpetua, a business advertising consulting agency in which he creates and manages campaign strategies for various business clients who sell on marketplaces such as Amazon and Target. So without further ado, please let us welcome Daniel Nguyen.
Thank
for having
you.
me, guys.
Thank you for being part of our panel, Daniel, and for taking the time. Okay,
course.
so I'm going to fire away some more questions to you. What do you appreciate most about the school during your time here? And how has your perspective on that changed now that you are far away from the school?
Yeah, well, the one thing I'd say I appreciate the most about the school, and I was there 5 years ago, I believe now, was just the amount of, I guess, opportunities I got to take it on. And by that, I mean, because the school was so small when I was there, you know, there weren't many clubs that were around, and there were a lot of, I guess, leeway and a lot of opportunities for me to kind of, you know, join the student council, for example, or, you know, start a club like Red Cross, for example, or, and, you know, start a soccer team. So there were a lot of, I guess, leadership opportunities that I got to take on. And I think that was due to the fact that the cyber school was so small and we were so new. You know, like what Chloe said before, things we're still growing together at the school, and we're kind of learning together with the school. And I think through that process, I got to take on a lot more leadership opportunities that I otherwise would not have had the opportunity to do so. And because of that, it's, you know, I learned a lot of soft skill from that really helped me in business school, especially with case competition that Brandon mentioned, doing other clubs on campus at Laurier, for example, or even now that I'm working. So a lot of that soft skills that I learned from, you know, dealing with people from different culture, for example, or just being in a leadership role as a student council president, you know, kind of managing expectation from the up, kind of like push that down or like communicate that to the team. So yeah, I think that's definitely the one thing that I appreciate the most during my time at J. Addison.
Good.
And it hasn't changed much. I think that's, if you want me to pitch J. Addison to, you know, a prospective student, I'd say that's the number one thing, like just the opportunity that is given to you if you're willing to take them on. And, you know, Brandon's and Miss Vanity is always there to kind of push you to succeed and help you along the way.
The second question is, and you came to us from Thornhill Collegiate, I remember.
Yes. Yes, I came, Thornhill Secondary School.
So this question, I think, really hits you more maybe than some of the rest, because you came to, you went to a local public school, and then you came to J. Addison.
Yeah.
What, to the best of your knowledge, most differentiates the school from others?
It's an interesting question. I mean, when I went to Thornhill in grade 11, it was, well, again, a public school. So there were a lot, well, a students, and there were a lot of different group of students that were in, like, at the school. So I think for me at times, it's kind of hard to, it's kind of like, I'm a very sociable person, so I want to make friends with everyone. So for me, having that personality, you know, always trying to make friends with everyone, making everyone feel special and feel nice, like it was kind of hard for me to manage that. There was a lot going on in the school, and I think come to J. Addison, it was very different in a way that, you know, everyone was, well, we came from quite similar background. So everyone's pretty studious and pretty academic focused for the most part. So I think that was the major difference. And again, what Chloe said before too, I think that hits home quite a bit. To me was that, yeah, because we're the school, when I went to J. Addison was super early on of J. Addison's, like, I guess, life. That, you know, we were kind of growing together at the school instead of, you know, being at a school that's 150 years old, like Lakeview, for example. One of my buddies went there. Like, things are very tradition, and they always try to stick to what they've known the best. So that, I think that's another major difference for me.
Thank you. If the school were represented as a single person, what would its personality be like? Can you answer that, please, in 3 words?
Say multicultural, a tight-knit community / family, and inclusive.
Thank you. What one thing would you change about the school to make it better, if you had to choose something?
If I had to choose something, I think one of my biggest disadvantages now is that I only know English and Vietnamese. And I feel like, especially living in Canada, like knowing another language would be really useful, like French, for example. Or if I want to ever go to the States, like Spanish would be useful. So I think what I wrote down here in my notes, is that, you know, having more like class language options would be pretty cool to have. Because I think I would have liked to learn French, to know like a little bit here and there instead of just like bonjour and ça va. But yeah, that's the one thing that I would pick.
Thank you. what would families find most surprising about our school?
My answer to this question kind of goes back and kind of relates back to the question the answer that I gave for the first question, which is being there are a lot of opportunities for you to take on, or for students to take on and kind of grow their leadership skills. The answer that I wrote down here is that I think parents would be surprised how much their kids/children will grow, being at J. Addison. One of the main things for me when I was there like 5 years ago was that there were a lot of opportunities for me to take on. I was always willing to take them on, but at times it was quite tough, to manage everything at one time, together with having to study and get good grades and apply to university. But the support behind me back then, which is tremendous. I mean, Brandon was one of the key, individuals who like helped me through a lot of mentioned the challenges that I went through and during grade 12. So I think it's a really cool combination of you like the students and like the not the students but the teachers kind of holding your hand a little bit and kind of help guide you through things, but they're also pushing you really hard from behind. Like Brandon was always pushing me like here and there to make sure that I'm succeeding, I'm doing the best I can. And I think through just one year being in J. Addison, I grew a lot as a person. And I honestly would say that I would have not been the same person I am today if I did not go to J. Addison. That's how important and big J. Addison is to my life. That was just one year being at J. Addison basically changed my life.
Oh, thank you. What advice would you give to students just entering the school?
Honestly, it's very similar to what Nick said. Just have fun, embrace the process. Again, opportunities will always show up if you're willing to take them on, take that initiative, work hard. Grades are not being given out at the J. Addison. I learned the hard way, first semester. Where I have a lot, surprisingly, kind of funny, like a lot of my roommates from university also went to private school. And I heard that at Appleby, they give out grades. Like if you're paying $60K a year, so it's giving out grades. So it's kind of interesting to hear that. But for me, being at JDC, like, you got to really work hard to get good grades. And just embrace the process, like take on initiative and try to show people what Chloe said. Also, I also really agree with is that you really learn about different cultures by being at J. Addison. So be open-minded about it. Learn, try to pick up on a few words like Mandarin words or Cantonese words or Vietnamese. If you talk to me, I'll teach you a few words and learn how to eat new food, for example. So I think it's a unique opportunity for sure. So embrace it and have fun, like Nick said.
Wow. I don't know. I'm touched by seeing you all again. Yeah. And especially the Chloe and Daniel. It's been a long time, and to see you as successful men and women really touches my heart, and I know it touches Mr. Brendan's heart as well. Nicholas, you were a great student as well. We really appreciate what you gave to our school and what all of you gave to our school. You all gave a little piece of what you're all about, and we're really appreciative of all of that you did for us. Mr. OJ as well, you brought a lot of insight to our school, and I know we really appreciate that as well. Always your constructive comments were always appreciated, and your two boys certainly reflect the values that you have imparted upon your children as well. So I'm just going to say thank you very much again for being part of our panel discussion today. I wish you all the best. May God bless you and your family